All right, let's get the show started this year. So these next videos here for the next few weeks are all about the 7 primal movement patterns. We'll actually review 6: squat, lunge, bend, push, pull, twist. Gates number 7, which is walking or running. Not really going to deal with that one. So those 6, starting with squat. So squats are super important for all sports. And remember too, as it relates to these primal patterns, it's all about creating and developing your athleticism so that you can bring an increased or a maximal effort as it relates to maximizing your ability athletic wise to whatever you're playing. And in this case, it's riding, right? Or mountain biking. So maximizing your mobility, stability, posture, and then your movement mechanics is true and necessary from now until whenever, right? So I want to be as functional as I possibly can for as long as I can, as old as I can. And one of the things is to be good at these patterns, okay? So, which is why all of my programs for you guys has each of these in them always, all right? So squat. Squat breaks down to a few key important things. One is ankle dorsiflexion, okay? That's to dorsiflex, that's to dorsiflex, that's to plantar flex, that's to plantar flex, right? So we have to be able to use our ankles so that we can bend our knees maximally, and then we can use our hips to sit into, all right? So watch what happens for those of you who have limited dorsiflexion in an ankle. If you're only going to here, my butt then has to go way back and my spine has to get really flat, okay? So if that's the case, cheat. And these are for those of you who have fixed ankle issues, limitation-wise. Stand on it, and then that will help you get your knees more forward and to get your hips down so that you can maintain a flat lumbar spine. Because we don't want to go down here and then have your butt tuck. We call that the butt wink. We don't want that. We want a neutral spine sitting into the hip socket the entire time. Goal is knees first, then hips. And if you can see, my upper body angle and my shin angle are parallel. That's always the goal in a squat, all right? Now, width-wise, everybody's created different. One way you can tell how wide you should be is to lay on your back, pull your knees to your chest. If you only go to here, but then all of a sudden you go out a little wider and you can get higher, then that foot position, for me, it's right about at my shoulder, okay? And then that knee, turn my toes out a little bit, my knee goes in the same direction. That should be a good squat position for me, okay? So that's a quick way to tell how wide your feet should be and in which direction your toes go. I've had 2 left knee surgeries. Sometimes I go a little straighter knee and I sit into my hip more because that feels a little better to me on my knee, but that's specific to my injury, okay? So you have to modify sometimes based off of your limitation related to your injury history. Okay, we move up from the hip. We really have to make sure that our T-spine remains flat. Remember, the thorax, our rib cage, is the upper body where all the important vital organs are, has to remain upward. So upwards, I mean up this way, okay, versus downwards or rounded, okay, this way, or kyphotic is the other way. That's poor posture related, okay? By the way you live your life posture-wise is how it'll show up in the gym and on the bike. So if you live like this, you're gonna probably do things in the gym like this, and you're gonna ride like this, all of which are horrible. You're gonna get shoulder, elbows, wrists, and neck issues. Flat spine, hinge. So I could go down to about here. You can see that right about there, I start to get a flatter back. So I'm not gonna go below parallel, all right? So really work on those things for your squat. And then the other thing is work on sitting into just a regular, being able to sit here squat, right? Just sitting here. If you have to hold yourself in position and then work your way in through your ankles and hips and knees, right? Just sitting and just rocking, working that ankle a little bit, ankle in and out with the knee to work the hip, okay? All those things so that you can regularly, just sit in this position, which is a really relaxing low back position. It helps with your hips, your knees, and your ankle mobility. Helps with understanding where you should be in your posture as well, okay? Now, squat wise, the only thing that I would say about a squat is when you load, I want you to work on this breathing pattern. All right, so good posture position right here. I've got my elbows in the same space, hands in the same place. I want you to work on this breathing pattern. So you inhale, okay, through pursed lips. Okay, that's, we'll call that number one, okay? So inhale, charging the core. I'm squeezing in, okay? So I'm pushing out, if you will, making this really tight. Like if you were to try to punch me in the stomach, that's what I'm doing as I exhale, down and up, okay? The other one is to inhale, hold, and then on the way up. All of these are based off of what you feel works best for you, all right? So, what does it mean to charge? I'm gonna inhale, I'm gonna charge, I'm gonna hold, okay? I'm tight, that's what it means. I've charged my system. When I inhale, hold, it pushes my viscera or guts into my pelvic floor, and it pushes my other half of my guts up into my diaphragm and creates this tight tension tube. And that's what you want when you squat or you deadlift or you do heavy split stance squats. It doesn't matter, all right? You can even use that on pulls and in your pushes too. So that's how we do, and those are the important factors as it relates to squats. Do them, they are super important. And you know the old adage, you either use it or you lose it. And squatting is one of those that we tend to lose pretty quick. And biomechanical issues kind of erupt from there, especially as you get older. So enjoy that. Any questions, hit me up in the comments below. And then of course, if you're looking for a plan, I got one for you that will help you be the best mountain biker you can be. So traintoride.com, and we will see you guys here in a couple days to start with lunge. See ya.